Then what size?
This one's from Jeremy in Wisconsin. And it says, Toffee Brand Coffee is the best coffee in the world. Thanks for the grift.
Anyway, I'm going to find out who this quartering character is. And when I do, he's going to get a bit of the old ice troll treatment.
Went from loathing Brie Larson to being the unofficial #1 fan site for Brie Larson.
How about a handshake? You're going to give me your jacket, your helmet, and your motorcycle, and in return, I'm going to let you keep your hand.
Good afternoon. Nice leg kicks there, Luke.
That's right.
Yeah, those were interesting to see, but I too was working out right before stream. I'm all sweaty. I didn't have time for a shower, but I can shower later.
We don't have television yet, but we should. We deserve it.
Yeah, yeah. How are you guys doing? How was your night last night?
Pretty good.
I was hanging out with some crazy old lady, which was really fun.
Did she love one of your shirts?
She loved it. She was like, oh man.
Yeah, I knew it. Yeah.
We were out there in Texas with, just a lady. She was in some TV shows. It was, she was nice. She was cool. She invited us She invited us to the house and we hung out and, it was cool. It was fun.
Who was it, Luke?
I'm not telling. Now it looks too awkward.
Well, if in 8 months and 29 days there's a little Luke out there,
you'll know where it came from.
Yep, I'll know.
It's me and Roseanne Barr's bastard's child.
Yeah, Roseanne's great. I had a feeling that's who it was. She's the best. Yeah, she was like my generation's second mom. Like, like I grew up on Roseanne. Getting to interview her on the show was like fucking crazy, and she had her like classic Roseanne laugh, and I was like, oh my god.
What did you think of? Did you keep watching the revival when they kicked her off of it?
Fuck no.
I feel like you can't have a show with a title character that you then delete. It's crazy.
Yeah, no.
Yep.
I refused to watch it on principle. Never watched it once, and I thought it was an abomination. But for whatever reason, I think it had okay ratings. Like it was on the air for a couple of years, and I was like, who are these people watching a show without Roseanne? Like it's
probably like nostalgic loyalists who think,
Yeah, I guess. But yeah, that was one of the most
some cool, exciting things in the pipeline. I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
So she's awesome. She's great. It was super fun. She actually helped me out back in 2012 when I was just starting out, and she actually bought some of my video cameras for me way back when.
Whoa, that's kind of based.
Lore.
So yeah, she's awesome. I'm super grateful for.
Can confirm, Luke Radowski is funded by the Jews now. I always had suspected it, but now we know.
You're the one receiving those $7,000 checks.
Big you just admitted big Jewish owner, maybe the richest, most popular Jew.
Where's my shekels? I want my shekels.
They bought you a camera. I mean,
2012.
Well, then you've been bought since 2012.
I don't think there's an
2011.
expiration date.
Yeah, Luke
I remember those
Radowski.
old DV. It was like one of those old DV cameras that were like for like 400, 700. You put a DV tape in it, and it was
the
like with those little
tapes.
handheld.
Yeah,
the
those
tape
sucked.
ones.
Yeah.
That's back in the day. Back. You needed a fire wire cable that would always break or overheat or just destroy and self-destruct.
And I
your
was a
laptop.
PC user, so I had to have like a fucking a PCI card add-on that had because FireWire didn't come on regular computers back then. But you needed it because if you tried USB, it would take forever. Like you had to use FireWire.
It wouldn't work. It just wouldn't work. USB was too slow back then. Now we have USB 2.0, which works, but those FireWire cables, especially on laptops,
And they were like
finicky.
$40. They were expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah. Luke Rubenstein, welcome to the show. Hannah Claire. Yeah.
Shalom alaikum.
Lots going on today. A lefty maniac was arrested over the weekend. Somehow it was not in the news. Did you see anything about this on Sunday even?
The
Had to be,
200,
I'm sure it was locally.
the 200 explosives guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Like-
saw that yesterday. I thought I sent it to you.
Oh, I blew it. I let Tim scoop me then. Would have been a good video for me.
Down on the job here. It's funny because I feel like people just don't know how to report on it. Like it seems so out there and also was intercepted. People know how to report on atrocities when they happen, but
Yeah.
the fact that they could have happened is almost more disturbing. That's
Well,
like the telecom network in New
Yeah.
York.
Yeah,
Like
that went
no
away
one
real
picked
quick.
up that story.
Mm-hmm. Well, they had he had the same explosive material as the Oklahoma City bomber, and he also had a bunch of pointless shit like bottle rockets with aluminum foil on the top. Why? Don't know. But he also had what is it's like a homemade. It's popular with homemade explosives. I'm trying to look up the name of it. Because I was like, oh, this guy with the dork with like fireworks, and then I was like, oh, he had. Help me out, chat. I don't know, like, what, people say bomb. Like, he had vials with a yellow liquid with explosives taped to them. Again, was the liquid piss? I don't know.
Some people are saying tannerite.
Yeah, ammonium nitrate is not right. Tannerite, I don't know. No, it wasn't tannerite. It was a liquid. They used it in Oklahoma City. Where is this? Not mesh aluminum, methyl nitrate. I think that might have been it. Yeah.
Well, the corporate media is saying,
nitromethane. Yeah, nitromethane. That's what it was.
the corporate media is saying if it's not white, it's not right to talk about. So
yeah, nitromethane. And the only reason they stopped him is because he went to take a piss and they arrested. He went to. I mean, brother, you have to go pee before the police standoff. Like
Maybe he got nervous.
He went and pissed in the bushes, and they're just like, "Oh, let's arrest him." So I don't know if he ever really. To me, it's like another crazy guy, but he did have a manifesto that specifically called out the Supreme Court, and he was at the church on a day known for Supreme Court justices attending. So this wasn't like just a crime of opportunity. He clearly was there on a day in which he knew that they would be there. And, ironically for him, if he had blown up all the Supreme Court justices, we'd have a 9-0 conservative Supreme Court how would that would have been an all-time backfire. Trump would have been able to nominate all 9 Supreme Court justices, as far as I understand, as far as I know.
But it would put a hold on all. I mean, their
it would
new
cost
year
us years.
is open,
Yeah.
so it would just freeze a bunch of decisions that could be made.
the
possibly.
Democrats would block it too.
Right.
So
They try, but I mean, I don't know. It'd be unprecedented.
Completely.
But so, I mean, I think the fact that he was there on the day when they had whatever they call it, red whatever day, I don't know, not red letter day, red whatever. It's widely known as the day that the Supreme Court justice goes into session, and they usually attend that church. He had ramblings against ICE, the Catholic Church, the Supreme Court, and maybe that was it. There was one other one I thought, but
It's kind of a lot,
yeah, it's yeah.
a wide-ranging set of complaints.
I'm wondering if and Jews. Yeah, I can't believe I forgot that one. Hannah Claire, come on.
Oh yeah.
So
Look, I can't just keep talking about this all the time. I'm gonna start sounding like a broken record.
yeah, that's true. You know, I said, another great opportunity to talk about violent leftists, but we'll see how long before we find out he was a Mossad agent. Or I'm waiting for Candace Owens to weigh in to figure out if this was Israel or not. But I mean, I don't know. It is weird because it's like it doesn't get the same coverage. But now these events are happening so often that, like, I mean, even the church massacre was out of the news in 48 hours. Mm-hmm. Like, it's kind of sad that, I mean, one of these lunatics is going to pull off something truly tragic at this point. Like, yeah, we had that dork that was like firing into the ICE facility. Then we had, this guy. Like, it's only a matter of time to, like, there's a reason he probably didn't detonate whatever he had. Either he didn't have a really well-made device, or, we don't know right now.
Yeah.
But, how long until an Oklahoma City bombing type event? I think it's closer than we think. And that's pretty frightening.
Yeah, I mean, I think people talk about the normalization of violence, but when you are inundated every day with different reports of shootings or potential extremists or potential political violence, like, it just does become overwhelming. When we talked about that judge's home that burned down and her husband was a state level official, like, or at least a former state level official, I believe, like, we can't, everyone's instinct was to assume malicious political intent when it could just possibly be gas leak. I don't know where that ended up, but
natural.
You could have your eyes on that story. I could be talking about the on-campus shooting in South Carolina over the weekend, and Luke could be seeing something else, and every single one of them could boil up to be something important. People get numb to this.
Yeah, the left is so desperate for any kind of incident that they're literally blaming accidental house fires on the right. The left keeps getting caught with 200 explosive devices.
Yeah, I mean,
trying to with a guy who had a manifesto against ICE and the Supreme Court that overwhelmingly is right wing, and people are like, "Oh, I don't know. Oh, maybe who knows?"
Well, we're gonna have to wait to see more information. I wonder if this guy was a veteran. That's my only question right now, because that would be like the third in 2 weeks. A lot of times, like, these schizophrenic weirdos, they put anything and everything in their manifestos, and they often don't make any sense whatsoever. But I don't know. I mean, the guy, whatever happened to this guy that went to the Super Bowl building? Wasn't he a Free Palestine guy? He went to the NFL headquarters and he killed people.
I don't remember Free Palestine. I remember that in his note, he was like, or supposedly talking about
the concussions. Yeah,
he had
the
a mental
CTE
health problem, and I think it was confirmed he actually did have CTE.
Yeah, so. I'm not surprised. Yeah, but what do we think is like? Jeremy's quick to buy the official narrative. I know. I'm sorry. It was the Jews. The Jews did this too. All right. Now give me a super chat.
I think in his manifesto, he had a thing against the Jews and Catholics.
The Jews, Catholics, ICE, and the Supreme Court. So it was all over the place. Like, if you existed, this guy had a problem with you.
He was against you.
Yeah. I'm not sure that this was, I mean, it's not as crazy of a line to draw to say that, I'm not sure that Kinjati Cereal Box Brown, or whatever her name is, like, I'm not sure that she attends Catholic Mass. I wonder if this is something that, he was pretty sure that would only be conservatives there. I don't know. But just another lefty maniac, just another maniac, even take the politics out of it.
Yeah.
In the last 3 weeks, we had the Mormon church shooting, which was not politically motivated. He's a weird vendetta against Mormons.
I think it's religion, yeah.
Yeah, and religion. And we had the guy the day before that who just shot people eating at a restaurant or whatever. Not politically motivated that we know of. This guy, schizoid. I mean, was he left wing? I don't know. Was he just a crazy homeless person? I don't know.
Yeah. Well, this is also 2 days after a Biden judge gave a very light sentence to the guy who tried to assassinate Kavanaugh.
Right.
And showed up at his house in order to take his
trans
life.
guy. Yeah, don't forget he was trans, Luke.
No, I don't usually identify those people. Insanity here. But a lot of people are like, well, the judges will just, go easy on them. And that's what a lot of people are commentating against this, saying, well, luckily, thank goodness he wasn't successful.
Right.
But now the question remains, will a left-wing judge, just like they did with the Kavanaugh assassin, see it his way and give him a slap on the wrist, just like that guy? Now, the DOJ and Pam Bondi said that they're going to, of course, look into this and try to punish this Kavanaugh assassin guy more seriously, since he was given a very light sentence.
Yeah, I mean, where do you see? I mean, what do you think?
They're looking into a lot of stuff these days. Sorry, I just feel like I hear this about everything. Like, there's public outcry, and then it's like, we'll look into it, which I don't want to be cynical. I want to be supportive. I want to, be hopeful. But sometimes I just start to be like, there's no way you get to all of these cases. They said they're saying the same thing about Ronald DeSantis. They're going to look into that. Like, there is a limit on what they are allowed to do. Now, this does involve a Supreme Court justice, so I assume the Department of Justice has more rights than they would over a state case. But why did this happen in the first place? Why did the judge make this ruling? Like, why do we always have to go back and correct mistakes? Why can't we have a better system? Sorry, maybe I'm a little cynical today.
Yeah, I mean, well, I think that's a reasonable question. Like, why are we always fixing it? Why aren't they just doing the right thing the first time? Is a very reasonable. It's like, well, they're just seeing what they can get away with, like they're just going to push it as far as they can. And it's all gross. I just hate it all.
We're kind of a negative cast today. I hate to say it.
Yeah, well, it's just
nasty cast here.
Yeah, well, it's tiring. It's like, man, can we go a day? Can we go one day without? Yes, obviously the answer is no. I do want to give a huge shout out to we have a sponsor for this stream, and that I want to share it with you real quick because I forgot the last 2 days in a row. So check these folks out. Let's see if I have it. Apparently I don't, because I am terrible at my job. But
you're not that bad.
And whoever the sponsor is, like, don't worry, just come to my channel. It'll be fine. Jeremy, how mad would you be if I poach your sponsors?
Not at all. Yeah, not at all. I mean, I'd I wouldn't have to pay your salary anymore, so that would be pretty good.
True.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know. I had it, but I guess we won't.
It's a mystery. It's coming up later.
Yeah, stay tuned.
Mystery sponsor.
What did you? Yeah, that's so weird. Where the fuck did it go? It's like gone.
Well, take your time and find it. We could spitball here as you go out there and try to find the sponsor.
I think we should just make up your sponsor. We should just start a rumor. Who would be the worst sponsor for Jeremy to have today?
Israel.
Well, you have to give this up. I'm tired of
my tongue. I'm like literally biting my tongue here. I'm like, No,
it's gotta be more fun than that. Everyone's mad about that one.
Yeah.
But as Jeremy finds this, where do you see things going? Because I think a lot of this is very tiresome, and I kind of share some of the feelings Jeremy's also kind of feeling here. But everyone's always keeps talking about civil war. I mean, are we already in one? What do you think?
Me? What do I think?
Yeah.
I think the concept of civil war is interesting, but really all cultures as they evolve and grow are at constant struggle. So we are at war for our humanity, for our ethics, for our culture, for our value. I would argue that in a technological day and age, there's warfare that happens that we don't even see. Again, I'm going to reference this telecom network that was uncovered by Secret Service in New York, which apparently has ties to China. That was a blip in our headlines, but it seems to me like there is some sort of interference in our government. Now, if the people are going to, if we're getting this from foreign entities, I can only imagine that civilians are doing it to a certain extent as well. I don't think that will ever really know when conflict began amongst us, because it's sort of been low boiling for a long time. What do you think?
Well, I got it. I'm gonna shout out. Thanks for that. Huge shout out to Comet by Perplexity. It's a pretty sweet new web browser. So check this out, folks. So this video's sponsor.
What? Why am I the only?
How much time do you spend every day on a web browser? How much time do you spend clicking around online, searching, scrolling, typing, endless tabs? It's a lot, right? Well, there's a new AI browser from Perplexity called Comet that's completely changing the way you're able to interact with your browser. Using Comet feels like having a personal assistant living in your web browser that can actually do things for you across the internet. Yes, do things, not just give you answers. You can ask Comet to handle tasks for you, and it literally clicks, types, searches, and scrolls just like you would to get things done for you in the background while you go about your day. Comet can shop for you, make reservations, book travel, summarize articles or videos, send emails, schedule meetings, and a lot more to make your life easier. Let me show you how it works. Look, you guys know I publish 5, 6, 7 videos a day and do several live streams. Comet has made my life a lot easier in doing my research, finding stories for the day, summarizing stuff, setting up things to remind me about topics I want to do the next day. It's been amazing. The whole thing is really cool, right? Download Perplexity's new AI browser, Comet, by heading to pplx.ai/thequartering. The link will be in the description too. Let your browser work for you right now. Plus, when you download Comet, you get a month of Rumble Premium for free. That's pplx.ai/quartering. Go now and take back your time online. Oh, so smooth. I nailed it.
Yeah.
Take back your time online. That's a fun tagline.
Yeah. Make sure you check out the link in the description. Try out the browser. I don't know if you guys saw this story. I mean, I don't know what else there is to say about another violent leftist. You know, I can't. I don't know what else to say. I mean, I guess we know more. At this point, we need to reopen the mental institutions. What do you make of Seamus said that yesterday? Like, he brought up that, like, can we ever bring back mental institutions? Do you think that's ever going to be possible?
I think it's possible. I mean, some of it is like you have to get, and I don't necessarily feel like this is like what I want to say, but realistically, you'd have to get some kind of authority figure on board. You'd have to get some sort of like board of psychiatrists, board of something else. Like, once they start being like, actually, it's okay. Everyone who is, I would say moderate to left leaning, who are like going to follow directives of mainstream advice, they would view it differently. And I also think that there are a lot of people who like I would say millennials and Gen Z are very into like mental health, mental wellness, mental whatever. And so I wonder if in some ways, like having, psychiatric rehab or whatever they're going to rebrand it as would become more popular. And an insane asylum sounds bad. It has negative connotations. There are all kinds of issues with that. And there were problems, obviously. But let's say like abuse or mistreatment or something that would happen at any residential facility, like let's say an elderly care home where your grandparents might live. Like, we didn't shut all of those down just because there are sometimes that you have to be more vigilant. And I think you can start to make the argument for mental institutions as well. What do you think?
Well, I say, you can't throw the baby out with the bathwater. I mean, we had mental institutions for a reason. It's because we have people who cannot live inside of civilized society, but have not yet committed or have not committed enough crimes that would require permanent lockup. So, I mean, ultimately, yeah, we should have mental institutions where people can be institutionalized until such a point in which they are better, or until such a point in which they die, because you have proven that you are unable to. I mean, I said this yesterday, but like Irenia would still be alive today if that guy was in a mental institution, and he certainly would have qualified.
Right.
13, 14, 15 federal crimes crimes. Said he had a chip in his brain. Total perfect.
He had a schizophrenia diagnosis.
Yeah, perfect schizophrenia. If he was where he should have been, maybe he would have been able to have some dignity and live a decent life. And, the other 13, 14 people he attacked throughout the years would have been attacked, and Irenia would still be alive. there are many such cases where, that other guy had a mental break that, thought he was performing surgery on a toddler and killed the kid. Maybe he should have been in a mental institution.
Yeah.
There's a lot of schizo crime. There's a lot of these people that do mass shootings too, that, probably belonged in a mental institution too, at least for maybe not forever, but, could instead of giving these people gender hormones, maybe they should be getting permanent medical care instead of turning them into school shooters.
You know who I want to hear from? It's the families of people who have loved ones who have these chronic issues, right? Like Irania's attacker, his mom called the police on him when he was in the middle of what I think was a schizophrenic episode. I think that there are all kinds of people who want better for their mentally ill loved one that don't want, them to potentially escalate to violence or hurt themselves or live a life on the streets or whatever. I'd be curious to hear what those families have to say about potentially having a path towards a residential community that's staffed appropriately, like
but a lot of those places aren't fun. It's like, hey, we don't feel like dealing with this. It's a problem. It's a severe type of issue that's taking away a lot of our time and research. Just put them in a home full of other crazy people. Doesn't sound like a fun place. Now, no. I would argue that if we do open up these institutions, that they would be one of the biggest booming businesses of our time. It could potentially save the economy because there's a lot of crazy, unhinged, wacko people out there. How do you make sure it's not used in a type of a way where just normal people are kind of sent there? I don't know, but there's a lot of normal people losing their ish. A lot of people having a mass formation psychosis, a lot of people that are on SSRIs, a lot of people that are unstable. And sadly, I think if we're going to actually address this issue, we have to address this from not just a mental health issue, but a physical health issue, because physical health and the destruction of it, as well as the poisoning of the American people, is correlated with people losing their marbles and being mentally unwell. So I think a better kind of conversation that is a little bit more nuanced is to be like, okay, let's make sure that we live in a more kind of holistic type of naturopathic approach rather than just throwing all the crazy people in one building, because I wouldn't want to be in that particular building, right? I wouldn't want.
I don't give a shit. I don't care. I don't care. It's not supposed to be fun. We can. It's like I know what you're saying, but my position is a little more radical. 4x4 padded walls, put them in there. You can't live with society. It's not my job to. It's not like I do not break the law. I am not a schizophrenic. I don't have whatever. I shouldn't have to get stabbed in the neck by these fuckers. I know it sucks, but the same thing is I get it. Now, maybe here's the thing. There are institutions, like you said, I think that capitalism could actually fix this, because if you're a family with means or whatever, you could put your schizophrenic kid in a nice facility, just like elderly homes, right? We do this with the elderly. We have all sorts of really nice elderly homes where people who are elderly go, and it's sad because they don't have any family or whatever. And there's a range of them. And the ones that have money are nice ones, and the ones that don't are in shitholes, and that sucks. But I mean, go ahead.
I have another solution to this. Mass exorcists.
Yeah,
expel all the demons, because a lot of them are just demon possessed and crazy people, right?
Put holy water in the water supply and see what happens. I become
just bring all the crazy people to a stadium and then do a mass exorcist type of event where you kind of try to dispel the demons out of them.
I thought you just said you didn't want to gather all the crazies into one space, Luke. Come on.
Yeah. Somebody in chat says, Jeremy, there have been 15 more murders on that public transport line since Irania's murder. That day pissed off. What does that denote about the demographic? It's not our fault. Hey, look, I don't know if 15 is actually true or not, but I mean, you're talking to, I'm a numbers truther. 3 to 4% of the population. Yeah, I would need a fact check on that. That'd be that'd be 3 a week.
Right?
I'm not saying it's not possible, but
I would just think they would shut down the transport at a certain point, or
do they shut down Chicago? I mean, there's 50 shootings a weekend there. It's 3 to 4% of the population commits over 50% of all violent crimes. 1 in 20 black men will kill somebody in their life. That's an FBI data point, not mine.
That's a crazy statistic.
1 in 20. Like, I know 20 people. You know what I mean? Like, all of us probably know 20 people. Well, if they're all black,
from age groups or from
1 in 20 black men will commit a murder in their lifetime, according to the FBI. That's fucking crazy. 1 in 20. That, I mean,
that's crazy.
Yeah, and that's, by the way, that's based on arrest numbers. So you could probably
didn't get arrested that got away with it, as most murders are not solved in the United States.
Yes,
I think probably what's the percentage? Like 70 or 40%? I forgot.
Of what? Black men that commit violent crimes or murders?
No, murders that go unsolved.
Oh, I don't know that number, but it's got to be more than half. I bet. You know.
Yeah, around there.
That, I mean, the real number
of crimes go unsolved or unreported. Now, the ones that are being reported, it's a 1 in 20. Now, imagine more reporting, probably more like 1 in 10.
Or, you know, if our prison system didn't book all these black and Hispanics in as white, you know, what the real crime statistics would look like.
Yeah.
Like, we're going down a dark road, but I could give you right now 100 examples in a beautiful little infographic of black people being booked as white.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's how you know the books are cooked and the books already look bad. Imagine the truth of those books when all these like alleged white guys aren't really white.
Yeah.
Right. That's the wild part, man.
Now, if it's a system-wide problem and a bunch of black guys are booked as white, okay. But I have a feeling that that's not the case. I have a feeling that the books are cooked to the max, and that, you know, I have called publicly on like Cash Patel, dude, could you imagine if we did a prison system audit and just updated that? I mean, the world, I'm telling you, would not be ready for those numbers. Yeah. People are afraid of the 1350 number. It's probably more like 470. You know what I mean? Like, but people aren't ready for that. 4 would be black males. Because the 13 thing is African Americans, but the women aren't murdering people. Like, it happens, but it's not at like, you know, they're not the majority of that number. Wildman says, my 2 favorite people and Jeremy's chair. Aww. Wildman says, I love that Hannah Claire was legit confused about the Boomer browser ad that came on. As we're all LOLing. Meta PC's ads are GOAT. RJ says, did you hear about Hassan Piker shocking his dog to the point she yelped? Disgusting. We can talk about this. Yeah, we can talk about it. He very clearly uses a shock collar on his dog, which I happen to think that I'm not a huge, like, I'm not anti-shock collar, but I'm anti-lazy shock collar use.
Okay.
Yeah, especially if there's no commands given and you're not being good with the dog and clear with the dog. Because like shock collars aren't that bad if you know how to use them. And if you use them as like a stimulant where it's just like not even a shock.
Vibration. That's what I use on mine.
Just a vibration. And you could train a dog with the vibration to listen to commands. You never want to crank it up. You never want to hurt the dog. You never want to make it high, especially if you're not giving clear commands. Now, I also have this, because it looks like he wants to have his dog in his shot. And he's kind of forcing
that's what it looked like. Yeah, he left his.
I like my dog's in the shot, but guess what? That's kind of voluntary, right? Sometimes I'm like, "Hey, Atlas, go on the couch," and I give her a treat to reinforce that. You're not always supposed to give treats to dogs on every command. You're supposed to mix it up. But she's sometimes there, she's sometimes not. She sometimes wants to sit on the floor, and I'm like, "Okay, it's fine. It's not a big deal." Right? I love her and I want her to be in the shot, but she's not. That's fine. But
positive reinforcement is way more effective. You don't want your dog to fear you. And like the thing is like
or to be hurt by you.
Or to be hurt, yeah. I mean, I have 3 German Shepherds, and when we go out in public or from another place, we're like, I mean, Huck is a big dog. When you have like a prey-driven dog, I don't have a problem. When I see a German Shepherd with a shock collar on, I'm like, okay, well, the owner gives a shit. Like, they don't want that dog to, God forbid something happens, it starts a fight or it goes after another dog. You can't really stick your hand in there. You probably can't catch your dog. But that is not this. This is Hassan Piker getting mad that his dog left her mat and he zaps her. Look at this. By the way, that dog is obese too. like as a fat, I don't have it. Like fat people make choices to be fat for the most part, but dogs only eat what you put in their bowl.
And you take them for walks and you take them for runs. I take my dog for a
I
run.
do too.
Or
Yeah.
or have my person who lives with me take them for a run every day. I'm like, she got to go for a run. She got to get her exercise.
Especially like active or working or purpose dogs like German Shepherds, right? They need the exercise.
Every day.
I don't know what kind of dog this is, but it was a very expensive purebred. That's what I know.
I hate this fucking country so much.
Hold on here.
Rough opening.
That's
You can be on a fucking mountain in the middle of Norway and get better internet than
She's
Los
worried
Angeles,
about the internet.
California. And this
First
is just
world
like
problems.
Yeah, no shit, right?
A moment of anger. This is a moment of world problem.
Yeah, the dog gets up and leaves her mat.
It's the same reason as to why America. Kaya, please just fucking go. Just stop.
He clearly reaches over and zaps her. And like for leaving her mat. Like that's fucked. Like that. And
no, stay in the shot for my internet likes.
Yeah, what? And the guy, he tries to.
And he's doing it like because he's mad. Like it's not like
he's clearly worked up. He's taking out on the dog. Yeah. Even this, like, look at this woman scold him because he doesn't know how to put a collar on his dog.
And now it's mainstream. I love her. I think her collar is too tight.
Well, it's here we get.
It's you have to be able to get 2 fingers, and I couldn't even get one. I think you're choking her.
She's like
his guess is like not even like what the fuck, bro? Like why is this collar on so tight? Well, that's also a thing with shock collars. You got to put them on pretty tight, otherwise they won't work. But he literally tries to say that it wasn't a shock collar, but he's like, oh, she just caught her claw on something. No, she didn't. Like if you zoom in, I don't want to keep playing because it's sad, but her foot is flat on the ground when he shocks her. Like it wasn't in movement. Yes, dogs can yelp for no reason, or they can get scared and like, have a little, like Huck sometimes will have a little freak out. I'm like, yo, what the heck? And he's just like, oh, I'm fine. And then
just
like,
tell you what the ghost in your house. It's totally different.
Yeah. But like, he also like, there's another clip of him where he does it and he's like staring down the dog and the dog is like, won't look at him. And he's like, oh, he hits this dog for sure. Like he abuses this dog for sure. Like there's, shocking his dog for the, I was trying to find. Yeah, he's got the shock collar set up. Now, to be fair, the dog could have yelped because it was startled, but whatever it was, he was issuing a correction with the collar for behavior that did not need to be corrected. Even if I'm being totally open to shock collars, like, which I am, honestly. But I because I have German Shepherds and people who use hunting dogs, you can't have your dog, running off. They get the adrenaline goes crazy and they act up or whatever. But that is not this.
In some cases, there's like, maybe it's a training tool for certain dogs, but if it's like, I don't know. I don't know enough about training dogs to really comment on it, but like just being frustrated with your dog and shocking them,
Yeah, that's not what they're for. You should almost, even if you're a shock collar pro person, you should almost never have to use it. Almost never. And like,
well, it depends. Like
only
if you want to do a little kind of vibration to do recall, that's what I did it with my dog when they had it.
That's different.
I do the little vibration, and then Atlas come back, and then here's a treat.
Yeah,
right? And then you kind of simulate the two, where you just kind of press it. So if the dog runs off or chases after chickens, it's not just because like a lot of the times they see chickens, and I had my dog on a chicken farm, and I was like, all right, I gotta make sure she doesn't eat all the chickens.
You don't get a chance to.
Yeah. I was on a pig farm. There's chickens running around everywhere, and Atlas was running around everywhere. I was like, Atlas, when I call you, got to come over. So like, you do the little buzz. Sometimes they don't hear you because they got auditory exclusion because they're just so focused on the chicken. That little like vibration is like, oh, I come back to get a treat. I don't have to kill the chicken for a treat, even though the chicken seems like a perfect chew toy. But I was able to train my dog successfully not to attack and eat chickens, which is a very hard task.
Yeah, they're so delicious.
Around.
Yeah. I mean, Luke has a German Shepherd too. Like when you have a prey-driven dog, sometimes it's the only thing that will get through to them. Like if they, there was a stray dog that came on my property and like Huck almost killed him. Like it was there's no stopping that. But this is not that. Like we can debate again, proper shock collar use, fine, but this is not that. And I don't even love shock collars because everybody I see, most of the people I see using them abuse them. Most of the people I see using them will like constantly use it. And it's like, well, I put the shock collar on, I just shock my dog every time it doesn't listen. I'm like, but are you putting in time training the dog when you're not shocking them? Well, no. Well, then why do you expect them to be like, you're going to be shocking that dog forever then? Because you didn't work.
It doesn't know what it's supposed to be doing. You're just telling it. Yeah.
Yeah. Shock collars are for people who can't train well. Again, I don't mind people. I mean, that's you're free to have that opinion. Like I won't die on this hill, but I will say like, I'm not a hardliner against them, but as somebody who has prey driven dogs that I know if they saw deer, like I don't care. It doesn't matter what I say. There's a good chance that dog's going to take off and hurt himself. And like you don't want to let your dog chase deer; they get hurt.
Slow with dogs, especially prey-driven dogs, and you want to make sure you know, especially if you're out there in public, have them on leashes. Now it's very hard not to have your dog on leashes, and again, it's so irresponsible. But and owners are like, but they're playing. I'm like, no, they're not. Like, no, but their tails are wagging. I'm like, you don't know what you're doing here, lady.
Yeah,
stop it.
My dog's tail wags too when they're fighting.
Yeah, but sometimes your dog gets away, and when your dog gets away, you want to make sure you have a good recall, and you do that early on, and you do that with treats. Yeah. Every time you call the dog's name, treat. Here you go, and you just keep practicing and doing it. I remember Atlas was a puppy. We were at the Beanie compound. She got a dead bird in her. She saw a dead bird, and she like put it in her mouth. I'm like, oh crap.
Yeah,
and
she's got
early
the taste.
on, I was like, Atlas, get back here! And I started running after her. She just started running away, and I'm like, I can't believe. And I'm like, oh goodness! And she has all these like dead bird guts all over. I'm like, come on, stop it! She was a puppy. She was like 4 months old, and then I'm like, I'm gonna make sure she has perfect recall. And I did buy one of those collars, and I did use those collars. Yeah. And now she has very good recall. Where there's little chickens running around, she's like, I'll know to stay by whenever I get recalled, and she knows to do that. So yeah. Well, Hassan is getting now. So obviously, Luke and I, you can see where we both stand basically the same. Like if you use it as a tool, that's one thing. If you use it because you're lazy, that's another. But Hassan is getting it's like number 1 and 2 trending topics on X. Like really? he's getting dragged. Well, it's bad because he then like denied it. He was like, I didn't shock him. But then, like, there's videos where he admits that he has a shock collar. There's videos coming out where you can very clearly see the blinking LED on the shock collar. By the way, if you have a shock collar on your dog in the house, that's odd. Like, unless, I mean, I can't, like, if you had cats or something and the dog was attacking the cats and you were working on getting that behavior fixed, like, you know, that'd be one thing. But if the dog is just laying on their mat, why is a shock collar on? Like, take that thing off. That hurts. There's like 2 prongs that like stick into their neck. Like, I would only have the collar on my dogs during training, like, and then it would come off and their old collar would go back on, you know. And like, I don't understand why that poor dog is just sitting in a collar and with a shock collar on for like 12 hours uninterrupted. That's very weird.
That's crazy. That's a long time for anyone to sit anywhere.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if the dog gets let out or not. I mean, I don't watch that loser, but I will say it is funny watching him get dragged. But I mean, why is anyone surprised? Like, he doesn't care about dogs. Like he's like, oh, when he was shopping for dogs, he's like, I don't care. I don't care that they can't breathe. Like, he was talking about getting one of those like damaged dogs, like pugs or Frenchies or whatever.
The ones that are bred end up having like,
they have a ton of inbreeding and they have all sorts of physical problems. He's like, I don't care, it's a dog. And I'm like, you shouldn't have a dog, bro. Like, you shouldn't have a dog if that's. I have an uncle that's like that. Like, yeah, but he doesn't have dogs. Like, he views a dog as like he grew up as a farmer. They're a tool for the farm, and if they live or die, he doesn't give a shit. And I'm like, oh man, like, how are you so cruel? But that's just how he is.
Yeah. If you get a dog like that, everyone says you got to get good insurance because you're going to be at the vet the whole time. But there's also another kind of select, because I looked into getting those dogs because I kind of like the personalities of pugs. They're very rambunctious and they're big
funny.
troublemakers.
Yeah.
And they're funny and they fart and snore everywhere. And I'm like, my goodness, like this sounds like my spirit animal.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I looked into it and I'm like I don't want to get one of those dogs that always has health problems. And then there's a specific breed that now has an extended stout, not a small stout, that if you do get, that they don't have breathing problems. And those were the ones that I was looking into personally getting, because those look very cute and they have the same personality and they're kind of the same dogs. But I think it matters to have that distinction. But ultimately what made me not get it is, I don't want a dog, and I don't want, dogs to be bred that just are always in the vet. That doesn't sound nice.
Yeah, right.
I used to hear that about Basset hounds. Like they were bred to have those, like their bodies got longer and longer, and they have all kinds of back problems, like similar snout issues.
Heart problems
too.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, they have all sorts of problems. I don't behoove anybody who's like gets their first dog and they're like, oh, I want a pug, and they don't really know like about all that. But then if you're like willingly buying a pug, you're incentivizing more breeding of pugs, and they have a shitty life. Like they can't breathe and they can't, they have all sorts of problems. But that's why
do your own research before getting any type of dog,
I wanted an English bulldog, and then my wife's like, you have to like clean their face folds and all this stuff. And I'm like, well, not for me. Like I don't want that. Yeah. I'm not going to be cleaning my dog's face folds. Get yourself a nice lab. Labs are the perfect dog. But let's talk about Luke. I always like to get everyone all riled up. Luke posted this video yesterday that, it's a clip from his favorite investigative journalist,
Candace Owens, baby.
Candace Owens, yeah.
We don't all have Candace derangement syndrome.
Yeah, I know. I'm not deranged. I think she's been right about some stuff. I just think she's definitely seeing a point where she wants to go in the future, and she's grabbing every piece of evidence that can help her reach that goal. This idea that Charlie Kirk had told multiple people that, quote, they're going to kill me. I talked to people at TPUSA about this, and they obviously said that he didn't say this to them, but also that, it wouldn't be that crazy of him to say it, because, he got violent threats every day. He traveled with armed security for a reason.
There was also people online saying that he was gonna die.
Right, before he ever even got
Mm-hmm. So there was this. Did you guys read the New York Times article? Like they did an interview with Erica Kirk right before the memorial service.
I did not.
I know people are like Erica Kirk honeypot. Like I'm not trying to open that can of worms, but she's talking about like the days leading up to Charlie Kirk's death, and I guess she told reporters they'd gone to dinner with a friend to kind of pray over the tour or whatever, and she had asked him to wear a vest, and Charlie Kirk's response was not yet. And that's interesting because again, that's like
it wouldn't have saved him.
Well, and it's also an indication that maybe he felt like things were escalating, but he wasn't willing to believe that it was right. Like, it's hard to say. But I can imagine that they were worried about his safety all the time.
Yeah, I think that at least she shouldn't be too worried about that, because I don't think it wouldn't have mattered the way, where everything hit and the way everything shook out. But, and I think most vests would not stop a high velocity rifle round anyway.
Well, big ones do, but the ones underneath the shirt do not.
Those skinny ones.
I have a level 4 plate that would stop a rifle round, but you would get the impact velocity and the speed.
You'd still get hurt pretty bad.
Would seriously injure you. But then I have level 3A kind of undershirt vest as well, and it would have of course partially stopped if it was a direct hit. That wasn't the case here. But also when you're wearing these vests, you do feel them and you do kind of act differently. It definitely does seem like, there were a lot of threats beforehand. There were a lot of people predicting that he was going to get shot and killed. And that's the kind of strangeness of all of this that we're kind of left with trying to understand here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, what do you make of the... I guess to me, again, I guess I have CDS, but like, this is kind of a nothing burger. Like, he was getting death threats all the time. So, like, unless he had something specific, you know what I mean? Like, of course, obviously, the way Candace is framing it, everyone's like, he was talking about the Jews and then the Jews killed him. But, I mean, he had said, I have been able to confirm with people close to him that he has said stuff like this before. Like, this is not something crazy and out of left field, or in response to a specific threat, at least that anybody knows. At least that's what I was told. But like, I think it speaks more to he was recognizing. I mean, we had the Donald Trump assassination attempt not once but twice this past summer. You know, we had the Tesla attacks. We had, Elon Musk had threats on his life.
Luigi
Mangione. Yeah. Like, I think it would be really dumb to not think that Charlie would see that stuff and be like, well, I'm clearly a target, because he would be and was. He also, I don't know what he said when he came to her in a dream, but that was Luke's favorite clip, but this is my favorite clip from Luke Rudowski's all-time favorite reporter here. This
That's
obviously
right.
is fact.
We're both people of color. Don't be hating on us.
Yeah, that's right.
Like I just said, had a vivid dream this weekend, and Charlie came to me and he told me that he was betrayed. And so for me, you don't have to believe
I can't hear it. You got to up the audio. I'm sorry. I can't hear it
It's
myself.
pretty loud. Oh, okay, hold on.
Let me turn up my audio if that's okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
that.
Can you hear that?
Yeah.
Like I just said, had a vivid dream this weekend, and Charlie came to me and he told me that he was betrayed. And so for me, you don't have to believe that, but I do believe that. And
by the way, okay, this is my opinion. Like, that's fucking disgusting. Okay. Like, I'm going to use my dead friend came to me in a dream and said that I was right. Are you fucking serious? Like, come on, Candace. You have the text messages. You did great revealing them. You made millions of dollars this last week alone. Why do this? Like, come the fuck on. Like, my dead friend came to me, and said that he was betrayed. Like, dude, come on. Like, the people that believe her already believe her. Why like disparage him in this way? Like, I don't know. I just think it's gross.
Yeah,
That'd be
I
like,
don't know
what
if it's
dad? My
disparaging.
dad died away.
Yeah.
You know, your dad died. Like, if my mom was ever like, your dad would have wanted you to do this. That's gross. Like, she's never said that to me. But like, using somebody who's dead to, like, I don't know. It seems weird.
Listen, she could not be lying. I mean,
She could be telling the truth.
I know there's an aspect where people are like, she's lying. She's doing this for clicks and attention. There's a big possibility that she legitimately had a dream and in her own head had this personal type of experience and does feel this way as strongly as she does, you know, because again, if you hate her, you're going to say she's just making it up for clips. If you're like her, you're going to say, no, this is real and it's a spiritual battle and she's the warrior for truth. For me, personally, I'm not the biggest fan of a lot of that. I'm just saying release all this stuff, like just release everything so we could get on top of the investigation, so we could get on top of understanding exactly what's going on here. I think there's a lot of ego in also a lot of this as well.
Yeah.
We got to do our best to kind of move forward. But I do believe there is an element to the questioning that from some people comes from a disingenuous part, but I think we also need to understand it's also a very traumatic response that a lot of people have a lot of big emotional responses to. And I think at the core, a lot of the people who are asking questions because they don't want this to ever happen again. And they're very moved by it. That's just my
disagree. Fucking hard disagree.
Some of them, right?
Yeah,
Not
some.
all of them.
What do you think, Jeremy?
Some of them.
There are a fuckload of people who are just asking questions
and just
to
trying
make money.
to take advantage of the situation. 110%. I agree with you. But I think, not just speaking in black and white, I'm trying to add more nuance to these conversations because I think the nuance here matters more than ever.
Look, Softy Luke, I will acknowledge that, like, to give her the benefit of the doubt on the dream, if you are living a single story nonstop 24 hours a day, it's not implausible to have a dream about it. Like it would be like, I watched Dexter every night and then I had a dream about Dexter. Like, it wouldn't be that crazy to have a dream about it. I just feel like it's a little, even if you did, I feel like it feels slimy. Like, I had a ghost come to me in the night and say that Jews did it, which is essentially what she's fucking saying. I don't care. Everyone can disagree with me. That's fine. I'm dug in on that. But like, Yellow Stream says, Jeremy, interesting side fact. Candace Tucker and Meghan Kay are managed by the same digital media company, Red Seat Ventures, which offers them, quote, content strategy, The Jews, per journo Mikhail Allison. I don't know who that is. I don't think it's crazy uncommon for people to have the same representation, especially as, like, how many agents are there for, like, conservative, like, firebrands. The thing is, though, like, I don't see Tucker, like, beating this drum. Like, I think he's talked about it a little bit, but next week, Candace will say that the last words Charlie said was, oh my God, dude, I'm telling you she's going to do that. She's going to say that somebody, I was talking to another commentator who I won't out because they don't like drama, but, like, we've been exchanging some jokes about this. And he was like, he said something similar, like, next week it's going to be, I was told that Charlie's dying words, his final breath was, the Jews. And, like, it would never be that on the Candace knows something is not right and she's right. Fair. I don't disagree with that. There's also this false dichotomy. How do you navigate this, Hannah Claire? So there's this false dichotomy where, like, if you mock or, like, doubt, dispute anything Candace is saying, or I won't say Candace, let's say Kirk truthers. Okay. If you dispute a Kirk truther, their only response is simply that you must then completely agree with the FBI narrative, which is nonsense, but it is extremely effective at shutting down arguments. How do you even navigate that? Because it's to me, I have not been able to. It's just like, well, what the hell? I can't. What do you want me to say? Or they say you're paid. So it's like, is there even any value, or do you just let it play out and stay out of it?
I mean, I think there is. This is the certain flame that attracts a certain moth, right? Like, it's something that people feel really strongly about, and for some people, it's deeply emotional. I think for other people, it taps the lack of trust of mainstream media or the government. But really, all of these people like to fight online. I mean, and I mean this in a very positive way. Candace Owens wouldn't be where she is if she wasn't willing to say something bold and then defend it no matter what. I mean, we've seen her do this time and time again, and it is part of the reason that she has built the platform that she has. She's had success off of it. I think it really, it's up to you. Like, you are also someone who is pretty good about being like, this is what I believe, and I am willing to debate it on the public forum, on X, on wherever. For me, I feel like my approach to it is to, like, gather all the information, and like I'm terrible to do puzzles with, or at least I was when I was a little kid, because I would hoard pieces and I don't want to give them to you until I know exactly where they go. And that's what I feel like the approach is right now. I want to, like, I can't say for sure what happened, other than the fact that I know for sure Charlie Kirk is not with us, and it was tragic and it was horrible. Ugly things happened in our country in the wake of it. And for the evidence that I have right now, it seems like Tyler Robinson was the person who was involved in some way. I believe other people were involved, but I think we're still getting the information out there. I care less. Like, I get what you're saying with when Candace says, like, he came to me in a dream. Like, sometimes that kind of personal invocation does feel like kind of uncomfortable, kind of like, just keep that to yourself. It's the same thing with, like, after Charlie Kirk passed, a lot of people will be like, here's this picture of me and him, and here's my experience in whatever. And sometimes you want to be like, I feel like I don't know, just let his family mourn.
Yeah.
But I believe Candace is talking about her dream because she is trying to underscore, for right or wrong, for good reasons or for malicious reasons. I don't know her, so I can't say that she is. It's not just like she's chasing the newest headline. A lot of people will talk about trending stories because she feels very personally tied to this, and that's why I don't think it'll go away. Again, it goes back to my like hoarding of the puzzle pieces. I can only watch what's happening and continue to gather information. I don't know that me contributing to anything will de-escalate the rhetoric like maybe you want it to.
Well, I do believe that she believes what she says. I'll end with that. Like, I don't believe she is knowingly lying. Yeah,
but I think context matters. Some people are bringing up in the chat that she was talking about her previous dreams that came true. That's why she allegedly brought it up here.
Oh, okay.
So I know there's like little clips going out, and I know people have particular feelings and emotions about it. For me, I'm just like, okay, enough of the feelings, enough of the emotions. Let's prove what we got to prove. Let's make an argument, and let's get the evidence out there so we could actually, delve into this a lot bigger, in a lot better of a way.
Yeah, let's read some messages and then give you guys your shout outs here. Steve Eisner says, Jeremy, you were that Candace called you out yesterday on our podcast, said a few names who was mocking her, and she said the quartering was one of them. Well, I mean, that's fair. I have been. So that doesn't bother me. She's allowed to do that. McLeod says, left-wingers, former or active, and Jim Jones personalities have always seemed to go hand in hand. Yeah. Our says, I'm pretty sure that there's a joke about your wife dreaming that you cheated on in here. So he cheated on her somewhere. Yeah, right. That's always funny. Why are you mad at me? You cheated on me. No, I didn't. Well, you did my dream. The Swamp Cleaner says, Candace is doing her best impression of a Greek oracle, definitely huffing something. Our sergeant says, anyone who thinks that shock collars are abusive do not know what it's like to have an animal capable of killing an adult human. That's what I mean. Like, if you have a big dog, you that's part of the responsibility. You got to train the fuck out of them, but you still have to have a fail-safe. Like, if my dog, who got, a lot of training, is not aggressive, but sometimes that switch gets flipped and, am I supposed to let him kill another dog or attack the UPS guy so I could say I didn't have a shock collar? No.
I mean,
it's just like a piece of safety equipment.
It's an aid, and like you wouldn't put a shock collar on Luke's pug, right? Like it wouldn't be one.
No,
a larger dog might, but again, you wouldn't just be like, oh, the shock collar is the only. This is what I'm understanding from what you guys have both said.
Yeah,
the shock collar isn't the only thing you need to train a dog. It can't be the one thing you're doing.
Yeah, Cameron says my wife is a dog trainer and does protection sports with a Mal. I'm assuming that's a Belgian Malinois. Using an e-collar is not abusive and it's needed for working dogs. I agree. Yeah. McCluss says shock collars typically have multiple modes: a noise, vibrate, and then shock. Shock should be the last resort, but they're always misused. Yeah, I mean, 90% of people that use shock collars are not using them correct.
Yeah, they have a light function too, which is pretty cool. Because when I was out in the farms in New Hampshire, it was like super dark out. There was no light, but then you're able to turn on the light.
I did have that on mine. Collar. Yeah.
I'm like, I know exactly where my dog is.
Yeah, that was super helpful. Yeah, I mean, I was taught how to use it from a dog trainer. Here's when you use it. Here's when you don't use it. Here's how to, all this kind of stuff. Hardly anybody does that. Most people just buy it, stick it on their dog, and fucking zap them when they're being naughty. Doug Gardner says, Jeremy, if you don't want to be fat, try heroin. The easiest way to get a monkey off your back is with a gorilla. That is true, I've heard. Sergeant says, at my last appointment one morning, about an hour before my wife went to work, my schizophrenic downstairs neighbor experienced an episode and stabbed all 4 of my wife's tires with a butcher knife. Exactly. They should be locked up. Like, I don't really have, it sucks. They didn't choose to have that mental illness, but that's just the hard truth of it all. Pac-Man says, who wants to go to Hassan Piker's house? Go ahead.
I have a family member who specialized in treating schizophrenics, and like there are cases
a family member who is schizophrenic.
Yeah. Okay. So like there are cases where like someone will have a break and go on medication and be totally fine for the rest of their lives. But like, I think that
they stop taking it though. That's what happens.
Some don't. But if they do, or if there's like repeated issues or whatever, like there's enough cases where it's not just like it only happened once scenario, and they're still not getting. They're in danger themselves, and the people around them are in danger.
Doug says, comment definitely has made Jeremy's life easier. Without them, he could end up riding an inflatable cucumber in a hot tub on a live stream. Comment is preferable for everyone. I'll tell you what, I'll trade bank accounts with her any day. If you're talking about Amaranth, like, she's worth 50 million. Like, say what you want. I mean, I don't agree with her. If she does, like, I don't know if she does hardcore porn. I know she does OnlyFans, but like, that woman owns like 20 gas stations. She's got millions in crypto. She's smart, you know, and yeah, I'd happily take business advice from her. She sold vaginal yeast beer and apparently sold out of that.
Goodness.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I mean,
doesn't make me sad. I don't like this at all. I mean, congrats on your success.
I knew I
guess,
didn't like beer for a reason.
Yeah.
I'm worried about her soul. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, we can talk about the morals of her job, but I mean, just as a businessman recognizing business, you know, I'm like,
game
fuck,
recognizing
man.
game. I get you.
Yeah, game recognizes game. Yeah, like, I'm like, I sold $1 million in coffee last year, and she's like, bitch, I make $1 million a month on my gas stations alone. I'm like, what? Who wants to go to Hassan's Piker and rescue his dog and put the shot collar on Hassan? Well, I wouldn't do that.
I was going to do a thing where
I remember you pussied out
and shocked on my show.
Yeah.
And like, if you would super chat, you'd be able to tase somebody, but I couldn't find a willing participant that did that. And then I had a bet with Clint Russell. I was like, if I win this bet, you get tased. And then he was like, no. And then at first he said yes. And then when it came to me winning, he was like, I'm not doing it. So I rigged up his chair with a dog collar.
Yeah, and probably get him.
He sat on the two prongs. And I set it to the highest level.
Yeah, because it had to go through close.
Thing. And I was like, I won this bet. And I was like, I can press this button. And then he freaked out and then jumped out. And I was like, I'm a man of my honor. I believe in consent, but
one of the things that happened when I did dog collar training, like with a trainer, is he made me shock myself, like, so I knew what it felt like.
Yeah.
And he's like, before you ever turn up to the next level, I want you to put it on your wrist and hit the button. Like, you have to know, because you'll be a little less like, I'll turn it up to 8. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I mean, it is like it gets your attention.
I knew people who did that when they were playing paintball. Like, because they're like, you can't shoot that close. It can be dangerous. And like, you can't play unless you have been shot, because you need to know like what you're doing to someone.
Oh, yes. Yeah, that would make sense. What was I going to say? I forget. Grand Blank church shooting had multiple bomb attacks the day prior, during and after the event, as well as a man with a gun who drove through police barricade, not a single isolated loon. Yeah, that's true. I did cover that. Guy with a gun the next day, and no one cared. Pac-Man says, good afternoon, Hannah, Claire, and Luke. Candace Owens isn't the only one having dreams. I had a dream that Sydney Sweeney came to me, and she wanted to have my babies. Well, I hope that comes true. HCB should be in the show intro, solving future crimes with Tom Cruise. That's why she knows the future on Reddit. PJ Schrader says, this explains why they had Luke on that list of influencer Jews circling around Twitter years ago. By the way, your boy Clint is like balls deep in IDS. You know that, right?
What's IBS?
IDS. He's balls deep on the Charlie Kirk, Israel killed Charlie Kirk stuff. I've been seeing on Twitter. Look, hey, maybe these guys eventually will have evidence, you know, and here's what I'll say for all the people that get butthurt at me. I promise you, I will upload a video and fully admit I was wrong if evidence is ever found. Like 100% unmonetized video apologizing. Candace had a dream that she was reading The Jews magazine. Hannah Claire, tell people, speaking of The Jews, tell the people where they can find your content, including your secret blog.
My secret blog? Well, I couldn't tell you where to find my secret blog, which has nothing to do with anything Jeremy's implying. That's slander.
Secret.
But you
Yeah,
can
that's
find my,
true.
mainstream for independent media work on Rumble and YouTube. It's at Hannah Claire B in both places. I'm Hannah Claire B on X as well. I put up a video on Ronald DeSantis, the man who's being paroled in Kentucky. Any headline you see that says man who killed 6-year-old boy released on parole, that's what I'm talking about. I have some context about what's going on if you're interested in that case. So you can check that out now on my channel. Again, it's Hannah Claire B in basically all places, Rumble, YouTube, and X. And thanks as always to you guys who've already subscribed, who've already watched. It makes a really big difference for me as I am building this platform. And I'll be back tomorrow for Astrocast, which is, of course, the best day of the week.
That's true. Luke.
WeAreChange.shop is my store. I have a vitamin store where I make sure to source some of the best supplements out there. We got, I think, the best creatine on the market. WeAreChange.shop. There's just an easy, clear way to check out what we got. You could either support the big box stores or you could support independent media and your own individual health journey. Can't recommend it enough. WeAreChange.shop. Thank you guys so much. Always a pleasure to be on here, even though you guys betrayed me and had an Irish, weird, angry, drunkard leprechaun on yesterday. But anyway, that's besides the story.
You know what? We didn't let him talk shit about
here.
you because you weren't here. You don't get to talk shit about him because he's not
I get
here.
to talk shit about who I want. That leprechaun has it coming. All right. The story.
So anyway, what do you got going on this week, Hannah Claire?
Well, as you know,
The
I'm trying to
treachery
get
of
some
that
Halloween
leprechaun
costumes going.
deserves to
Luke,
be
we're talking
avenged.
about Halloween now.
Yeah. Have we zeroed in on? Are we doing
Pumpkin.
ladybug, pumpkin,
Pumpkin.
I think there's a chance it'll be a
Misshapen gourd.
ladybug, but we don't know for sure
Come
yet.
on.
strawberry?
We have like a purple like hooded rabbit outfit already. So I was like, she could be the Velveteen Rabbit, but that story's kind of sad. So I
That's
don't know.
lame. You can't do that.
That's not real.
That's not even Halloween.
We can also put like the big Beanie Baby tie on the ear, and I think that would be kind of funny. But
No.
Yeah, make
You
a
get
Beanie
the
Baby.
364 other days of the year to worry about your baby being cute. This is
be right
Halloween. It has to be Halloween. Like,
I'm sorry, do you want my baby to be spooky?
well, ideally, yes. But like, I mean, at least on
a good
theme.
spooky baby costume.
A jack-o'-lantern,
Okay, maybe.
or a bat.
That would be fun. I like that.
You could have little wings and like, that'd be all right.
Could be cute and spooky.
Yeah, a little devil with little horns and a little pitchfork. She's a little young for that.
Man.
Yeah, plus that's a little, I think, a gremlin would be cool. If you had like a full body suit of what's Gizmo? That'd be cute.
I don't know what that is.
Gizmo, only the cutest thing ever. Have you never seen Gizmo?
No.
Oh my
Again,
God.
I am like kind of partial to like you dress your kid up as any animal and then put the TY tag on their Beanie Baby. But
Yeah, that's cute too. Here's Gizmo. It's really loud.
Pumpkin. You gotta make it a pumpkin.
I love that Luke has like for several weeks now been like pumpkin. Oh, that thing's Gizmo.
Yeah.
I used to think, what were those toys?
When you
that were
put water
popular?
on it, it turns into a Seamus.
Yeah.
It
Well,
becomes Irish. Crazy.
It's technically a Mogwai, but the his name is
You know
Gizmo.
the technical term. That would be
No.
cute. I like that thing.
Yeah, that would be like, you'd have to be like 40 plus though to like really appreciate that costume.
Well,
And it
I
would
can
be
do what
cute,
I want.
though.
If it's cute, it's cute. I mean, spooky. That's what we're going for.
Yeah, it's got to be, well, at least on season. That's all I'm asking. Hey, global warming. Global.
They arrested global warming. It's crazy.
Yeah, so global warming was, of course, blamed for the California wildfires. Turns out, this might shock you guys, it was a arsonist who started the whole thing.
Do you remember when people were suggesting it was an arsonist and other people online were like, that's crazy. It wasn't
There was
arson.
videos of people starting fires, like people following people around, and like during that, and they were like, remember that? They were like, filming these people, and they were like trying to start fires, and people were like, what the fuck are you doing? They were like putting out their fires. There were a lot. There weren't just one person starting. There were a lot of people starting these fires, I think, during that time.
But it looks like they're going to scapegoat this one guy
This
as
guy's
like
getting
the
it
only
all.
person responsible.
Yep. Well, this is the one I think that started in the hills, and like it was pretty obvious that like it was, people like it was a lightning strike, which does happen. But it wasn't even storming. And like, I think they found accelerant, that kind of stuff. Like eventually they figured out that it was, he claimed he was near the bottom of a hiking trail when he first saw the fire, and he called 911. Oh, they can't resist. They can't resist. They're always going back to the scene of the crime.
Well, arson is like a very specific crime. There is a like psychological playbook that comes with it, like going back to see the blaze and things like that. It's an unusual predilection.
Well, he was using Chat GPT to create like a spank bank for fires and stuff like that too. It was bad. Would you think that this will be covered anywhere?
I think it is
online?
I think it's getting picked up because the original article I saw this morning, they didn't have his picture out yet, and they were starting to cover it. And because so many people were impacted, like it's a pretty densely populated area and a lot of homes and businesses were destroyed, I think it will get covered, to a certain extent because, if you realize that you lost everything because of this guy and not, climate change per Gavin Newsom, I think you would want to follow this story.
Yeah, that's probably true. And there's enough people that were, like you said, that were impacted. Mm-hmm. The other story I had, we have a little bit shorter show today. The other story I had was this came out, this about X. I want to play this video.
Over. And oh my goodness gracious.
This guy's such a fruit booter. Okay, hold on here.
A tremendous, monumental.
Did anybody call rollerblading fruit booting when they were young? That's what we always called rollerbladers.
Fruit looping?
Fruit booting. Like, we call people with rollerblades fruit booters. I don't know. Whoever came up with that is fucking genius. But, like, I definitely had a pair of rollerblades. So, like, when I would go, I would, like, accept that I was fruit booting. That's a blast from the past. Chat's being reminded. Yeah. Oh, fruit booters. Where did that originate? Because it's like back then, like terms didn't spread all over the world very easily. Like it wasn't like the internet. We didn't have like the internet to spread it around.
It's a niche community term,
Yeah. Stop shaming rollerbladers. I'm not. I'm just saying you're a fruit booter. That's what we called you. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I could see it.
Yeah.
The regular news consumers on Twitter/X. You go back to 2021, the party ID margin. Democrats were 37 points more likely. You were 37 points more likely to be a Democrat on Twitter or X than a Republican. Jump ahead to this side of the screen. It's completely changed around. Oh, my goodness gracious. Now it's a 14-point lead for Republicans on Twitter/X. We're talking about a 51-point shift in the margin. And John and I were talking about it just before.
Now, I want to add some context. Millions of leftists left X.
Right.
So I'm not exactly sure. I think that
you don't think the data set is perfect.
I think that this is a little bit, and even my dumbass is like, did it shift? Did 20 million people go to Blue Sky and 5 million people go to Threads? That's really what I don't think people's minds are changed. I think the next election's still going to be just as tight as the last. I mean, unless you think it did. Do you think that? Go ahead.
I would speculate too that like in 2021, not as much as maybe 2015, but people were still keeping their conservative or Republican cards to their chest. I think people tried to be like, I'm moderate. I remember, especially in like pre-Donald Trump, there's some people I knew who were like, well, I'm kind of a libertarian, but actually what that meant was like they were just a Republican. They didn't want to admit it. Like
that was the safe way. Yeah, I was like, I'm a libertarian. Okay, well, are you voting for that pro-mask, pro-vaccine mandate guy? Your candidate? Wow. Like, I remember saying that to people. I was like, oh, you like that Chase? Wasn't his name Chase? Something like that?
Chase Oliver.
Yeah. I was like, you like that guy? He's pro-vaccine and pro-lockdown, right? That's not very libertarian. Pro-BLM, too.
Super libertarian. We love it.
Yeah, he's literally the definition of libertarian, right?
But listen, he was the perfect representative to have libertarians vote for Trump.
Yes, it was. You're not wrong about that. It was perfect because Like it basically pushed anybody in the margins
to get the libertarians to vote for Trump. That's why they put him in. That's why there's a last minute type of coalition. Oh, look, it's Chase Oliver, the woke leftist liberal guy.
Yeah. Well, they did. Did Trump went there and he did free Ross.
Yeah. I was there.
Yeah, I mean that was like
too.
he did free Ross. Like promises made, promises kept. He freed Ross. He kept the promise he made to RFK's voters.
The one that I can't totally figure out is he said he'd have a libertarian on his cabinet, and I don't know who that
he hasn't kept
is.
That one.
Yeah, and he's not going to, because I mean,
I don't think he's going to oust at least not now. I don't think he's ousting a cabinet member.
No,
he should make Ron Paul head of either the IRS or replace him as one of the Fed chairmen.
Yeah, I don't think Ron Paul is looking for more work now, though. You know what I mean? Like he's 90 years old. I don't think he's.
Let Ron Paul rest.
Yeah,
put him in there.
let Ron Paul relax. He's done amazing work. I would like to see a better position for Thomas Massey. I think he kind of,
I always wondered if he got approached, but then was like, I want to stay with Kentucky.
Yeah.
No, there's no
Trump
love
doesn't like him.
Massey and Trump. They hate each other ever since the COVID lockdowns. The COVID lockdowns, when Massey was against them, Trump was for them. That really created this major rift that there's no kind of coming back from.
Yeah. Then, so with that, I'm going to do some extra streams this week, so don't worry. Son of the Viper says, just watched a movie at a festival a couple weeks ago called Taste the Revolution. It's the most relevant film I've seen in years. You guys should watch the trailer. Is it porn? Or is it about the Pepsi and Coke wars?
What is it called again?
I'm looking it up. Taste the Revolution. Okay.
In the summer of 2001, a revolution erupted, but this explosive footage has been locked away until now.
I doubt it.
This is real. We're making a beautiful documentary on the Chaos World Summit, and
this looks like a big commercial for Generation Shit.
Ha! Based.
This is my parents' house. This is what people are looking for right now. People are sick of going to Starbucks. They want something to believe in, and they want something to follow.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's the man of the hour.
Is this a true story?
Yeah, I feel great. Well, every major movement has had a leader.
he believes in what he says.
It looks like it is.
We can all make a difference.
This guy's gonna explode.
We're like following.
Never heard of him.
Footsteps of revolutionaries past.
Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Moses.
It's gonna become something big.
What's his name? Salmi?
This is where it's all gonna start.
I have no idea who this guy is.
Me either.
I don't know what they're talking about, but I like it.
I've never seen so many different groups just coming together for one cause.
Got the
it's
the
okay.
Next to animal rights activists.
We're not here to party around the drum circle.
I think this is about a cult that really exists.
No, I think this is a cult scam. Maybe that was a part of the documentary.
That's where I'm going.
What I'm looking at. Like they created a fake cult and made people believe in it, and to show how easily and gullible they are.
Yeah, I think I've seen the documentary about this.
My older sister was conceived in Woodstock, and we are here to do the same thing.
Let's all get naked.
Yeah. We don't want real change. They're just here for free beer and to party.
How can you possibly create this much mess?
Yeah, Masaharala Ali. Yeah, Masaharala. Yeah.
I brought a lot of these people out here because I believe. You should believe. Every single one of you should believe.
Taste the revolution.
I had 1 or 2 beers, man. That's what you do when you're having a revolution.
Yeah, I'll have to watch that. I feel like I think this is based. This is a mockumentary. But I think this is loosely based on a cult. I'm trying to think of their name. I watched a documentary on it, and this is basically that. Basically, it all fell apart because they were all partying too much. There's another like mini documentary series called The Garden, I think it's called. That's also funny too. This one
There's
is
another Netflix one about the cult that was in Middle America that was like fascinating to watch. All these like cult ones are like so wild to see the kind of most gullible aspects of human nature being preyed upon.
This one, if you like that, which is a mockumentary, watch Cult or Commune. That's like it's basically a bunch of people that pretend they believe in something, but they don't believe in jack shit, and they get really popular on Instagram. So like, all these Instagram influencers are showing up, and and they're like, they pretend that they're like living off the land, but really they just dumpster dive, and they pretend they're like picking up roadkill, but they're not actually eating it. They go out on they're just LARPing, and then a horrible storm comes, and like it's funny. Like they could have all died, like, and basically the whole thing fell apart. But yeah, what an unfortunate head and neck. Yeah, that's unfortunate. But what's great about this cult is that like there are true believers there who are like preppers, and then there's a bunch of people who are like, I just want to party, man, and they fucking hate each other, but they're in the same commune. It's great.
That is
great.
funny.
I found a post that's a little spicy. I don't know if you want to show everyone. It's related to the Hassan conversation we just had that I just saw, and it definitely made me chuckle out loud.
Put it in there.
It's in there. It's in the private chat.
Oh, it's ahead of the poster. Okay, I see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can't see it.
I got it. I always screen your post.
Screening it.
Hey,
Yeah,
come on.
release the hostages. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that dog's overweight too, by the way, Hassan. Just so we're clear. Yeah, Hassan Pecker shot collar controversy. I mean, whatever. He's a piece of shit. I'm not surprised. Like, pieces of shit gonna piece of shit. That's what they do. With that, we're gonna send everyone over to Viva and see what's going on there. Whoops, I almost sent everyone to your tweet on accident.
No, we have to go see Viva and his crazy hair.
Yeah, we gotta ask him what his hair care routine is. There he
That's
is.
true. If you guys get the secrets to Viva's curly girl hair routine, I will forever be grateful.
Yeah, I'm in
Seed
too.
oils. I heard it's just seed oils.
It's mostly
Do you
seed
scrunch
oils,
them
yeah.
into his hair, or does he diffuse them into his hair?
He takes them rectally. With that, goes out to Viva. All right, everyone. We'll see you guys
Rectal
later.
boosting seed oils.
Yeah,
Viva Fake
bye.
confirmed.